久，还没听到你对我说你最爱的故事。
Bet
我想
Call
了很久，我开始慌了，是不是我又做错了什么？你哭着对我说，童话里都是骗人的，我不可能是你的王子。也许你不会懂，从你说爱我以后，我的天空星星都亮了。
Call
我愿变成童话里你爱的那个天使，张开双手，变成翅膀守护你。你要相信，相信我们会像童话故事里，幸福和快乐是结局。你们记不记得这个 MV 啊？一般去 KTV 都会看这个 MV 嘛，就会特别的感人。你哭着对我说，童话里都是骗人的，我不可能是你的王子。也许你不会懂，从你说爱我以后，我的天空星星都亮了。我愿变成童话里你爱的那个天使。
Raise bold check bold 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 bold, 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 raise, call, check, bold, bold, call, call, raise, bold, 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 call, check, 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 Fold. 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 Fold.
This gentleman back here has just decided to go full bore into the world's largest apple.
Whoa.
What?
Whoa. Ace-9 just hitting the mark blind v blind. I feel like Peter...
I mean, he's not that clear of Sosia's stack to be...
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Yeah, like he feels like he can try and just get to heads up and then kind of figure things out. There's been a couple of snug
Fold.
the ace high
Fold.
blind earlier on,
Call.
albeit correctly against the 10-7. Oh man.
Fold. Call. Check. Bet.
You know, if Sosia had
Fold.
10 bigs and it was kind of a given
Fold.
that he can wait her out, sure. But he's only 7 blinds north of her, Henry. The ace-9. Circle that
Fold.
one.
Fold.
What a gift for Philip.
Raise.
Peter had a real good thing going. And then it just all started to melt down. That ace-6 open, Filatov defended
Fold.
ace-8, came
Fold.
10-5, check, bet, call, turn 8. Filatov turning 2 pair. Managed to check raise. That led to an all-in. And since then, I feel like we're just seeing a different Peter.
He's been quite passive in the small blind as well. Not just here three-handed with an ace-4, but when NQN rather was still a part of the proceedings. I feel like there were
Fold.
a few raisable holdings that he declined. And now
Bet.
Sosia
Fold.
taking it away with Queen-Jack. Not that she would have mucked to a raise pre, but that raise pre allows us to get after the pot.
Fold.
Instead, all this deference is proving costly as now the gap is even more narrowed.
It's really strange to see him
Fold.
playing so passively. It's just, it's not like maybe fatigue kicking in. I mean, they've been here since, what, 1 o'clock local
Raise.
time today. It's coming up to 2 a.m. It's been a grind. It's been a 12-hour day. Think back to, you know,
Call.
the day and then navigating your way through the money bubble, final 3 tables. It's a grind, and you know, mistakes do start to happen.
Well, good to see that Peter is willing to raise the button here. Filatov dominated.
Fold.
6 straight.
Fold. Fold.
Qualifying for him. Mono
Fold.
King 3 deuce.
Fold.
Peter's 3. Not only Anatoly's top 6, but also has that critical ace of diamonds working.
Don't think Filatov
Fold.
will lose too many chips here.
Shouldn't.
Even against the smallish C-bet. Filatov just doesn't need to speculate. Doesn't need to give anything back.
Fold.
Oh no.
Raise.
Just as I say that, he's digging himself a hole.
1.1 shoveled. And you know Peter ain't going nowhere.
First misstep really from Filatov. Even if you think you have the best hand, it just gets so awkward. Out of position, Yeah, Peter's in here with, say, Queen 10, Queen of Diamonds. Like, that hand still has 50% equity against you.
4 on the turn.
Fold.
At the wheel draw to what is the best hand, but at 5 would be a devastator unless it came in diamond form.
Call.
Given Anatoly has a 6 in hand, what he doesn't have is further in.
Fold.
Checking.
Check.
Wang with the check back. 7 of clubs.
Check.
5, 6 is
Bet. Fold.
That's going to go check, check. Unless Peter just jams and tries to get
Raise.
6-4 to fold.
Raise. Fold. Fold. Fold.
Yeah, it wasn't the look of a man that had that on his mind. And 3 is exactly what you want to hear. There's the real 3.
Yeah, I don't think Peter expected to win that hand. Man, what a battle this has been three-handed.
Fold.
All thanks
Raise.
Badziakowski
Fold.
taking that aggressive jam spot.
Call. Fold.
21.5 bigs, four-handed.
Fold. Check.
And I think if he is watching, he is going to be kicking himself. Because he's going to see some of the approaches that
Check.
Peter's
Check.
taken, Sosia's taken.
Bet. Fold.
Yeah, it will feel like
Fold.
this was ripe for the taking.
Fold. Fold.
Is Bad's.
Raise.
The tactics he's witnessing here certainly
You guys
not
wanna
consistent
have
with
a
the
5
ones
minute break after this level?
that
Yes?
he would be employing.
Peter，他问我们就打完2手牌，想不想休息5分钟？
可以啊，
去下洗手间 ，OK，
So it looks like
15
Filatov
分钟还是5分钟？
5分钟。
has negotiated.
他们
little
我
break
们刚才问他下一次休息是什么时候，他说到单挑再休息，但是有可能还有段时间，对吗？哎，我们商量想休息多长时间都可以，5分钟或者15分钟或者10分钟。您想休息多长？
都可以啊，10分钟也可以啊，
Call.
15分钟。
15分钟吗
嗯，
？15 minutes?
No, 5 minutes for me, okay. Just to
He's
go.
asking if 15
okay.
minutes okay.
If
Yeah.
you need, yes, okay. no
Okay.
problem.
那就15分钟。Maybe he's not.
We should ask Flora though.
Call.
So we want to have a little break after this level. Yeah, is it possible, right?
Bet.
Yeah.
Fold.
So how long? How long is the break?
I
Call.
asked for 15 if that's okay.
I asked for 5, so it should be 10 or what?
I mean, do you guys have a?
It sounds like
Fold.
ongoing
Well,
negotiations.
he asked for 5. He asked for 15.
Fold.
I'm like whatever.
Call.
I reckon
Check.
Ali was saying earlier on, just
Bet.
off bare knuckle brawl to decide whether it's a 5-minute or a 15-minute break.
You know,
Last man standing.
I don't think Sosia's in.
No, she's
don't
not.
know.
She said, you know, you guys figure out. That's what I'm
whatever.
saying.
Oh,
You
Just
okay.
guys want, okay?
Fold. Fold. Fold.
tie their ankles together.
Fold. Fold.
You know, last man standing gets to decide
Oh, one more
how
hand?
long the
Oh,
break's for.
Is that how they did it at the Muay Thai gym that you were training at down in Phuket? The ankle shackle?
You know, I remember seeing this sketch. I can't remember whether it was on socials or whatnot, where they were doing phone booth
Fold.
brawling.
Fold.
Oh, yeah, I did see this. Phone booth boxing.
Two guys just
Fold.
throwing a phone booth. There's nowhere to run, you know? Where are you going to go, bro?
Yeah.
You're in like...
By the way, where's the ref in that? You can't be in the phone booth, can you? Go to your corner.
Oh, man.
Fold.
Let's see if we're going three-handed.
Fold.
to this
Ace
break.
King of Hearts
Fold.
on the puck.
Fold.
Seven suited's a lot of hand.
Wow. Wow,
Fold. Fold.
that's some snug poker.
Wow.
Raise.
How good are you
Fold.
going to feel about it once she realizes Ace King
Peter 15
lurked?
分钟。
Fold.
So a negotiated break is upon us as Nikita Badziakowski no longer with us. The most recent casual
Fold.
final table, which has given us all we could ask for. Plenty of excitement, heroism.
Fold.
The most
Fold.
recent bit of it
Fold.
coming courtesy of Anatoly Filatov, who is engaged in a bid to claim the 2 million
Fold.
and his
Raise.
Triton title. As we bring you back
Fold.
to
Fold.
the desk, Ali and Henry.
Call.
Still with you, Henry. You're going to be checking out. Randy's going to
Check.
check in. But before you go,
Bet.
3 players left. Who's going to win this?
All in.
Going to do the rounds on social media. I mean, what a hero call that was. But he seems to
Fold.
be really feeling himself right now. You can kind of sense the confidence that he
Sure.
has.
Listen, 21 bigs for Sosia, 32 for Peter. This one is far from over, but we're going to put a pin in it. Stay close, about 5 minutes, Producer James, 3, and we're going to come back with continuing action here in the 60K.
Fold. Fold. Raise. Fold. 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 Call. Fold. Call. Check. Fold. 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 Raise. Fold. Call. Check. Bet. Call. Check. 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 Fold. Fold. Bet. Raise. Fold. Fold. Call. Fold. 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 Raise. Call. Call. Fold. 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 Check. Bet. Call. Check. Check. Bet. Raise. Call. Fold. 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 Call. Fold. Fold. Call. Fold. Fold. Fold.
That was supporting him currently.
A lot of premium on the button for the chip leader.
600,000.
Fold.
Thank you.
Chris is saying she wants to see Sosia take this down.
You know, I'm looking back at Anatoly's Triton resume, and the title he won was actually here in Jeju.
Yeah, the 25K WPT Global Slam.
1.88 million. No deals were made there either.
Yeah, looking to top his high score.
I mean, this is his casino. You know? Home court advantage.
Bold.
950K guaranteed. 1.38 if you can survive.
Bold. Bold.
That's so much coin. And you go up to 2,046,000.
You know, Anatoly had a run in the 5K here. Triton won, warmed himself up.
Did he?
Yeah. Came second in the 5K for 48K. Just looking now at his Hendon Mob.
Call.
8.1 million in live earnings, and his career best
Check.
score, of course, did come in that Triton.
Check.
25K. 1.88 million.
Check. Check. Check.
Anatoly tried to sneak in a little limp. Not going to work against this man, Peter.
Raise. Bold.
I like the comment in the chat.
Bet.
The only deal made was the break.
Yeah, and they were even struggling to agree on the terms for that one, mate.
Bet.
Oh, Jack 9 offsuit in the small blind. Let's see what his game plan is out of position. Seven deuce. Not going to get frisky.
Bet. Call.
More texture rates to hit the small blind a bit more. But no stab.
Just saying, Xuan Liu opened the door for women at Triton winning tournaments. Would be nice to see another woman win. Also, just from the fact that Jiang's an OG. She plays everything. All the buy-ins, every event, every series. Let's not forget, she's also in some of those cash games you call the action on, Randy.
Lots of
Remember
support.
in Montenegro, that little squid game we were playing? 1K, 2K, 4K? I think she was one of the biggest winners in that as well.
She was. Repping New Zealand. Little stab with the 7 Dewey. Well done. She's got game.
Yeah, she's been getting away with murder. Blind v blind.
Check.
Like Peter's just been
Bet.
approaching this small blind spot very passively, and it's allowed Jiang to just take control. What did you get up to, Randy?
Just chilling, pretty much. Waiting for my turn to come in the booth.
I'm surprised to hear that. You know why?
Why?
I would have assumed that you would have been studying some cash game strategy, my friend. Do you know why?
Tell me why.
I thought you would have been, you know, warming up your vocal cords, your cash game voice. We got a little special bonus coverage coming up after this 60K. I don't know if you heard, my friend.
Raise.
I heard. Are
You
we
heard
allowed,
the
are we
rumor?
allowed to tell them?
We've got a €2 million apiece. So a €4 million heads-up match between Monarch, a.k.a. Aussie Katola. And you know, and the thing is we might be here for another 24 hours, 4 hours,
Bold.
because we ain't leaving until they leave.
Exactly that.
And you know those two might play for 24 hours.
As long as they need to. Till someone busts, pretty much. Really excited for that.
Bold, 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 cold.
I can't believe it.
Bold, bold.
Oh yeah, so if you guys were planning on going to work anytime soon, I would call in sick. Just saying. If you're planning on going to school. Oh.
Raise. Bold.
Giấu tên đã huy scan 10.000
Bet.
đồng. Nếu chiều cây đi thua thì cây đi đứng đầu ghi tả.
Cái ti đứng ở chỗ đón hai thằng dưới lên. Đón đứng ngay trước mặt thằng DK và thằng Phóc luôn á.
Giấu tên đã huy scan 10.000 đồng.
Okay, have a good
Liệu có phép màu nào?
Bold, call. Raise. Bold. Call. Call. Bold. Call. Call. Check, check. 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 Bet. Cold.
I will keep fighting, good fight. Okay, I go. Yeah, I have ult for you, Karasi. Yeah, for Sash. Look on me. Oh, he's dead. No flash. Okay, Yeah, it's turning.
Raise. All in. Fold. Fold.
Take with them. We stop on Nash.
Fold.
In dominant fashion, Carmine Corp will step
Fold.
their name into the scoreboard. 1-1 now between KC and Vitality.
The blue wall is not done here in this elimination series, and they come back strong against Vitality in Game 2. And as we say in League of Legends, when things don't work, rely on jungle diff.
I mean, rely on jungle diff and then rely on a jungler that's just gonna gank all your power lanes, because that's what Yike did this game. I was so impressed with the jungle mentality that is, I will full clear and I will pick a lane and I will gank it, and that's what he did in this early game.
Players hate it.
But that's just a typical Yike game. Every time we say Yike, oh, when is Yike doing the best is when he has strong lanes, he does his full clear, goes behind someone, helps them out. Why are you looking at me like that?
Because you're right, that is when KC looks the best when
Why
Yike
do you
is
look so
doing that.
angry?
I was happy about you, I was not looking angry. I love the fact that he just saw that Chayek's often posturing way too aggressive in the mid lane. Super easy for him to come in and gank him whenever, especially because Chayek blowed flash very early into the game. So there was such a big timer where Vladdy was just able to get such a huge lead because of the pressure that Yike kept applying on him.
I mean, that's the thing. What is the result of this? You end up having a really beefy Orianna working with Wukong. That's the dream.
Well, it is the dream because it's also the best champion that Vladdy has, this sort of style where, you know, Yike is just always posturing up, playing with him, always getting him ahead.
Khắc Lo Hanh qua bùa sao mà ông Kim chọn full đội 1.
For Vladdy. Holy. I mean, he did have
Full đội hình 1. Kết với score chiều này cũng chọn Hanh là thắng 3-2.
He was doing, you know, great, but at the same time, it was just the stock standard.
Phỏng vấn là kết với score tin Hanh qua thắng hả?
Right, you get a Wukong Orianna rotations. That's great. It's so reliable to play through. It's going to be good for you in the early game. It's going to be good for you in the mid game. It's going to be good for you in the late game. I think this is exactly.
Phải cả hai đội cùng thua hả?
Because Vitality.
Khó nha, MU khó thua nha. T1 thì mình không biết chứ MU thì khó thua.
You can always rely on, and that's what they brought this game.
And we saw it as well because this game wasn't easy for KC by any means. Sure, they had their draft the way they wanted. They had the chance they wanted, but at the same time, Yike did get caught around the Gromp area. It did prompt this whole Vitality shebang where they get the Nasher, and it complicates things a lot for KC, but at the same time, they had enough tools for it.
And that's how quickly a game can shift here. Yike just being a jungler, he's done great so far. Enemy jungler, all CC one-ball combo on top of you, and suddenly, you're just in a position where you're going to lose Nash. You're in a position where the rest of your team is going to have to posture forward, and Vitality is a team with their team composition, despite being behind, that's still going to be able to equalize on this. And I also think that play like this, it sets the tone for the future of this series, because it shows that no matter really what happens in the early game, we saw that in game 1, anything can happen in that mid game where the entire tempo will just be flipped over to the other side.
And I'm really happy that Vitality, even though the comp is a lot more standard this time, I still feel like they find these creative ways. I think Nako and that start finding the flank at least and managing to pull the trigger and, you know, get them out of that fight just gets me so excited for the rest of the series, because usually you have, you know, the series where one team is, you know, the clear favorite, but right now, the fact that both teams are leveling up, because Vitality, I still feel like they're leveling up. KC, they're being more creative, finding more plays, not just, you know, standard dragon setups and all of this. Just sets the tone for the rest of the games to be super hype.
And I like Vitality being aggressive, but I want to call on caution on their side, because we saw this getting caught. You cannot be allowed to make these mistakes, especially in the later stages, especially when KC
Yeah, I think it really speaks to KC's vision control around here as well. They're so ready for this flank. They don't even mind. Kana's free. Like, he's chilling topside, still has perfect TP wards. The moment Chayek's already ulted in on a dead target, it's over. I love all the micros in this fight from KC. I love Kana's ultimate. I love Targamas Bard ultimate, which disrupts the pathing of where Kasi would ult to disengage out of the fight, that still allows them to come together. So I just think this beautiful team fight from KC demonstrated what they do so well.
It was great.
What are we looking at then here? 1-1, smashing game from Vitality in game 1. KC come back in game 2. You guys were wondering after game 1, can Vitality make it? Do they have more? Was it a one-game fluke? Were we game 1 and this? So far we were.
But I think going forward into this series, what's going to become more and more relevant will be AD carries. Because as pools get trimmed, less power picks will be available for the other laners. But a hyper-scaling AD carry or front to the back team fight composition, you can always rely on. I think with the kind of thematic we've gotten from this series so far, that's where this series will also go in the future. I think it's going to be between Kasi and Kalist in terms of who can perform the best in these upcoming games.
And for me, I'm looking mostly at Vladi and Chaik because traditionally, Vitality is a team that really wants a lot of proactive tools, and I feel like with Game 1 having that curveball out, Game 2 now also a lot more other of the proactive tools are out. Now I think it's more up to Chaik to step up and find more comfort in these sort of stable mid lane champions, because this is Vladi's playing ground. As sad as it is, when the game is extremely slow, that's where Vladi thrives, and Chaik is usually the one who wants to break this mold open.
And the deeper we go into this series, the more the nerves are going to start to feel. I was wondering about KC after Game 1. Are they going to be able to come back? I'm wondering about Vitality now. Can they make the distance in this best-of-5 series? And can they make it last? Because it might be their last of the season for either team.
In a question about vibes and mood, you can never doubt Vitality. 3 Nashes in a row and they will tell you, all right, but there's a 4th one coming up. And that's the kind of vibes they will rely on to go back into this series.
Usually as the underdog coming into this series, usually you're looking at KC and you're like, oh wow, they're the ones supposed to win. But Vitality already showed us that they don't really care about any of this. I still feel like they're finding a lot of cool opportunities to play. And for me, it just sets the tone that they're on even playing ground.
I think this
welcome back.
Thanks.
Hello.
I think this series has, and you'll have to excuse my French, become a bit of a shit show. I quite frankly think that we're seeing throw after throw from both sides, and that to me is one of the biggest determining factors. Overall, I think KC is playing better League. I think their objective setups are better. I generally prefer what they're doing in the early game. But Vitality just have that raw talent that when they draft well, know how to use the strengths of their composition. So coming into this draft, I'm curious as to what tools they will equip themselves with this time around.
And that's why I think ease of execution just becomes that much more important, because while they might be losing, if they are in a favorable that's exactly what they need to showcase those raw mechanics that our Game 1 Andy is talking about.
But also that ease of execution that you're hyping up so much, that goes out the window in Fearless, because now we're in Game 3, melee supports are starting to be out.
Jarvan.
No, hold up. No. They're gonna drop the Jarvan ban now because they choose blue side. But this time around, when all the AD carries who have their dashes out, that champion's priority suddenly rises.
We talked earlier, Odo, about the Nico. With Nico and Rakan gone, that means Leona, Braum, maybe even higher priority now. Like the support pool, obviously, once you get to game 3, much more pinched. You can see KC debating heavily on what they want that final ban to be, but with the K'Sante gone.
So right now, I would favor Red side a little bit more on the topic that you just said when it comes to bot lane power pick in that sense, because counter pick on support makes so much more sense when you don't have a premier support in the game, which Leona, I feel like there's a lot of counters to it. I'm looking at the potential trade of junglers, the Zinzao, Maokai, or the Jarvan is gonna come. Ryze picked already. It's great. Usually when you don't have a, how to say, a super OP champion in the draft, you can also just look for these trades, because for me, I'm looking at these junglers. The junglers are the OP ones, but you can just ensure mid lane prior with the Ryze, and the Ezreal pick is lovely.
I do wonder now if you're looking for anything like Aphelios Thresh now. Thresh very lovely always into the Jarvan as well. Not Pyke, sorry, but Ryze can be a great target for that. So any movement from Flesh or a champion that allows him to play safer around his laners, that could be very good here.
I have to imagine Xin is the pick here, no?
Yeah, the problem with Aphelios Thresh here is that you can't really pick it because you really need to secure your jungler. Otherwise, you're going to get pinched hard. Zinzao is going to go off.
Whoa!
So
Razok is so jealous right now.
The thing about Jarvan is he is just a weak skirmisher. He's got great gank setup. He can punish lanes without flash super easily. But in terms of his 1v1 ability, Zed just outperforms him massively. Zed should have a much faster clear speed. Zed has a lot of options. His overall team fighting should be weaker, but especially against champions like Ezreal, who inherently have that inbuilt mobility, Zed can lock those target downs and make it very difficult for that AD to live.
The hell are they doing?
I really like what they pick here with the fact that they pick full topside here, because if you would break up this combo and you would let the AD support pick in isolated phases, you would lose a lot of power. So for me, it does make sense. You do want, you know, top lane to be a lane that will push no matter what, so that the Ryze and the Zed will always have a target no matter what, because Vitality's game plan right now, they need to explode the game early game and not make it so much about these objective fights.
Playing around an Ezreal as well on the enemy team, like you can easily just make a trade-off where both AD carriers will just farm waves by themselves and you start roaming around with these supports. I think movement from Fleshy and Tarkamas is going to be key going into this one as well. Already a great performance we just saw from Tarkamas on the bot, but Fleshy's already getting some of his ones taken away now with a pipe being banned.
Yeah, they're really pinching that pool pretty significantly. The Renekton ban, I mean, Odo.
They really need they really need to make something volatile here, because it's not so easy to make something volatile in this draft. You can't really just clear-cut punish bot lane. So the Renekton makes sense because you just want to take out all the beefy bot lanes. They have someone to dive, because that's your only clear win condition.
Is there any good picks left into Yorick?
Ooh,
I was thinking maybe Gnar.
As much as people hate it, I think Gnar is there. I think Gnar is always there.
So Gnar is probably the next ban for Vitality then?
I would say unless I'm missing something, but I'm sure that I'm missing something here. But I do think that Gnar is probably
Sion from Aurora. How is she into? Probably not that great into Yorick.
I mean, once he throws his wife and kids at you, it gets a lot harder.
The thing when you melee, you one-shot the ghouls, but when you range, you actually have to spend time actually hitting them. So it's always quite hard.
Karma Ezreal.
Yeah, Ezreal Karma is what they're worried
about. They're looking to find something that they can they can break open to secure an early game lead.
I mean, Vitality's comp already screams to me like side lane focus, split pushing, skirmishing. Like, they don't want necessarily the 5v5 that Casey, when you have a Victor plus a Jarvan and Ezreal, they're basically saying, hey, come fight us on a dragon. We'll either poke away at your HP or we'll force an all-in fight. And I guess
I don't like the Braum though. So the reason I don't like the Braum is because, again, you're not really countering anything. You go top lane.
But I guess they're arguing that there's not much that can punish the Braum.
Yeah, it's probably one of those cases right now.
What about I mean, we haven't seen Renata in ages. Would she make sense here?
I mean, you can go Kalista Renata and explode the game, you know?
That is quite explosive. You wanted Volatile.
Okay, Sivir.
Lulu? Yeah. Makes sense.
So I love the Sivir Lulu in isolation, but when I look at the whole soup that Vitality has over here,
where's the engage?
I get
Sivir's ult.
Right. But it's side lane. You saw Nako. When was it? Like 2 weeks ago. Remember they played the wife, pushed down and took 2 towers and an AHIB.
There's a 6-member on Vitality.
Right on the other side, that's the game plan. And Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath is also a great one.
He is good. He is very good. Right, well, I think on paper, in terms of ease of execution that we were talking about earlier, I do prefer KC's on paper.
On paper, it doesn't matter so far.
I mean, not only am I going to have to agree with that, I'm also going to say that Vitality has a composition right now with playing side that's way more about the map, and I don't necessarily think that has been their biggest strength in the series so far.
Is it also reliable enough? Do you have windows to punish here? Because when I'm looking at these lanes in isolation, sure, let's say that the Ryze will always have a move, but I don't see a clear target. And that's my concern for Vitality's team comp.
Well, Vitality so far, they are cooking. Is it going to be French cuisine? Is it going to be exquisite? We'll see about this just now. This is Game 3, Vitality versus KC.
Let's get into the game. Thankfully, the password was not #VitWins, so we didn't have anyone sneaking into the lobby for this series. But we are getting ready to get into Summoner's Rift. Again, the Zed jungle, a surprise with how early it was picked in the draft. All you saw was Jarvan and Ezreal at that point, and it's like, okay, cool, time to smash in the Zed.
Yeah, normally when it comes to a niche pick like that, it's like you have this insane scenario that's going to happen for it to come through, but Luncens was just like, nah.
I mean, apparently all he needed was the 2 planets of Jarvan and Ezreal to converge. This synergy is enough to find the Zed pick. Let's get into the game. It's a best of 3 from here on out. Real Madrid towards qualification possibilities. Whoever loses this series is knocked out of the LEC, also knocked out of the possibility of going to Worlds. If you win, you're not automatically good or at Worlds. You need to win another series if you are going to make it there.
30 seconds.
You see a line of scrimmage between the two teams. This time we've seen Vitality on the blue side as well. You can see Nako down in that bot lane, probably just looking for a little bit of vision for his Sivir and Lulu to give them a bit more pressure in that lane. Double range is always really nice into a melee like the Braum, but if the Braum does get on top of that, Lulu, she's pretty sharpish, so she needs to be a bit concerned.
Sure, in the Sivir Lulu lane, the goal is to just keep pushing in the Kestrel and Braum. It's going to be hard, I think, for Sivir Lulu to get a considerable advantage, but if you can keep pushing them in and get a CS lead that way, then you're going to be pretty happy. But with how strong Ezreal is level 1, you can see KC are actually choosing to looks like a late invade here.
Braum is nice in the late invade, but I don't think they're able to get much.
I just realized I saw someone Twitch message pop up and said Sivir will carry. We predicted this in game 1, guys. This is 500 CS Sivir win Vitality. KC will get their invade off and steal away this red buff. They'd love a split map. If they can keep this Sivir and Lulu by themselves in the bot lane, keep the Ezreal and Braum safe, but also...
Để mình check thử coi thằng Naco nó có trẻ không. Mình nhớ là nó cũng mới đánh debut năm nay thôi.
Yeah, it means that Braum can actually have some pressure.
Jack với Naco là hai thằng mà mình nhớ là nó khá
Ezreal
trẻ.
can follow it up, then Yike wraps around behind. The one thing that's really strong about said jungle is his clear speed. So you can see already now he's done blue buff, got enemy raptors, finished those.
2k5.
So he's gonna be able
to Naco tiềm năng nha.
leverage that into some real camp lead.
Jack cũng trẻ.
I think Yike was spotted on the wave that walked past the Crud camp, which is why he was so confident immediately going in for this, because Yike could have done red into cross mid and to go into his red side, and then we would have had a little bit of a battle, but Linsa's happy enough just to follow the entire Linsa's waiting here as well.
Also, crucially, the steal away, especially on those small Krugs, means that Yike is still only level 2, so it doesn't actually tick over to level 3, which means he has to do another camp. So that'll ease some of that pressure on the bottom side. It's a nice job by Fleshy, because that was one of the big changes from the Krugs a little while ago, was moving a lot of that XP from the initial Krugs into the smaller ones, so junglers actually had to stick around and clear them out.
And now with Linsas doing his own top side, he should be able to just transition back into his bot side and actually end up with quite a decent tempo lead, all in all.
Yeah, we'll see how quickly he gets over towards that bot side, because there's probably still the Scuttlecraft on the way.
Yeah.
Likely see that. A little bit about the top lane match. I really like Cho'Gath into
Liquid cút rồi.
Really good pick into it because Cho'Gath's
Liquid bị loại sớm khỏi cơ hội trong cái thế giới.
He heals a bunch and restores a bunch of mana. There's so many more enemies to kill when you're playing against a Yorick. You have all of them to deal with, so you're never really under too much threat as the Cho'Gath. You will get pushed out early game. Your wave clear isn't as good as the Yorick's, but you should be able to survive with the Vorpal Spikes. That's his E, and with the Ghouls for a bit of extra sustain.
Fleshy's in a lot of trouble on the bottom side. I think Yike going to look for a potential play here as the wave starts to push out from Rage trade from Calist and Targamas. Now, there isn't a vision to spot out Yike. He's going to be able to sneak in.
Yeah, immediately Flash. Anyway, Spell should use the flash invested as well. Targamas burnt his Flash Winter's Bite, and Kazi was wise to it. Fleshy stepping up towards that.
Là tên thật của nó viết ngược thành Naco hả?
Okay, not just that try just yet.
But they don't actually have a ward.
Đúng rồi, tên nó là Can Cô Can.
But I don't think they actually...
Má mày tên thiệt với nick đều buồn cười như nhau.
Yeah, Kazi doesn't really have an escape tool.
Né tốt vậy Kazi.
With just the movement, but the concussive blows will be enough.
Nhưng mà này khó quá. Lách hay đó chứ. Ê, đủ stack Ezreal nó bắn chết á. Chết. Hai em ơi. KC chung kết thế giới yên nguyên. 3-1 còn nguyên.
KC getting 2 kills on that bottom side. I think Fleshy looking for the mind game, being like, oh, the bush is warded, we know you're here. But the fact that Lince is overextended as well sets up beautifully for KC in this early game.
And it's Yike doing what Yike knows best, playing around his winning lanes and playing around their volatility to make them win even harder. You can see this ward that's crucially been pinged out by KC.
Đi ra dòm xong cuối cùng vẫn bị con nó gan.
That he's not spotted out, so he feels confident going for this gank despite waiting for so long. And then it's just a mistake from Linces. He tries to doesn't have the damage, gets stunned, and ends up going down with the flash of Yike.
Yeah, it's the risk of a Zed, right? You need to be in that melee range, but you jump in and immediately get stunned up by that Braum. It's so good for KC. 2 kills. One going over to Yike, one to target. It's not the targets that you would 100% want them on, but they'll be happy enough with it.
Chung kết tổng. Chung tổng nó còn lâu đó nha. Cái đội thắng trận T1 Hanwha là phải đánh với KT một trận. Thắng trận đó mới vô chung kết tổng. Cái tổng cũng còn khá lâu đó.
Look at Yike to immediately just run down to this bottom lane and look for a dive now onto Karzi, who doesn't have the the flash available. Looks like he'll just go for Dragon off the bush instead. But this is just going to be constant pressure on Takari, especially now that they're behind.
In a moment we will have a
Cho'Gath đi được với Yorick không ta?
this series. You can type KC or VIT.
Nhìn thấy vẫn thua mà đúng không?
And we'll see who is able to come out on top of it. Yike's going to be
Nhưng mà tại vì ngày hôm nay thằng Radical là thằng đánh tốt hơn, cho nên là cũng
2 kills, the first neutral, grubs up in 2 them tons of time to move their bot lane towards that top side if they so desire.
And now this just punishes this Sivir Lulu so much, because what we talked about earlier is that Sivir Lulu really wants to keep pushing this Ezreal Braum in, and that's how they're going to leverage a lead, get a CS lead, maybe get some.
thể thao mà.
But
Chứ bây giờ bạn ngồi nghĩ là tại sao là KT lại đi chung kết thế giới trước Hanwha với lại T1.
Never really getting pushed in, and for Ezreal that's crucial because now he can actually execute the pressure rather than just clear minions.
Cái gì mà nó cũng giống như chúng ta nghĩ thì
What they're doing, fishing with those winter spikes as well, seeing if you can land a little bit of extra damage. Karnat surviving the top lane very well, as to be expected. Uses the feast on the Maiden, and that's part of the power of the Cho'Gath in the matchup. Maiden's such a huge part of the power budget for Yorick. He's so dependent on having that up when it comes to team fights. You feast it, and it's 2.5 minutes before it's back up.
Does that count as like a or one of the 6 stacks?
Okay, so I'm the player.
Yeah.
And you're the color.
I never play Yorick Cho'Gath matchup.
You were talking a lot of stuff about Yorick.
I do love Yorick. I was playing with Broxer a bunch, and we did a autofill challenge. And any time I got top, I had to play Yorick because it's the only champion I'm good at, and also I don't have to farm. The ghouls do it for me. I'm gonna look it up, Jack, for you. It does count as a stack.
Yeah.
I can tell you that much.
I think she is coded as a creep though.
I mean, she's probably coded as a Teemo because that's kind of how coding works in League of Legends. She's not an epic monster or minion, I don't think. So
chắc chắn phải là cái cặp giá cả thị trường ở đường trên.
Fair enough, yeah. It still sounds strong. Being able
Nó phải là đường trên rồi.
The Maiden, that's KC. First here onto Grubs. Darcy trying to push in this top side, but looks like they just have to fully get it here. Unless he wants to try to steal one away, but he already has blue buff. It might be a fight.
It's possible. First couple of grubs already down. There's the third.
Đủ ba.
You get it. And they're just back.
Much stronger early games, game 1 and game 2 and 3 for KC though, and I think we're starting to see them at least bring it back.
Còn tốc biến. Ủa tốc biến rồi.
Down on Vladdy's head, and here will go.
And we get to see some of that set strength there. As he's able to close so much distance with that W and the ultimate. Beautifully set up by Shaik there. And Vladdy, even though he burnt the flash, still ends up going down.
Lấy con Cho'Gath là mục đích là để cắn thánh nữ đúng không?
Unfortunate there for Vladdy, who just ends up taking that step too far forward.
Hồi nãy như mấy đứa bình luận viên nó có hỏi nhau là khi mà Cho'Gath cắn con thánh nữ á, thì nó tính là cái stack gì?
Getting all 3 of them to press the chat on the map. This would have been
tính là stack gì anh em?
early game for KC. Now there's a little blemish on us, but
nó tính là stack gì?
Very much in the driver's seat and
He failed. The combo. You just see a flash.
You're talking about KC.
Raise.
He's good early. I give up. I'm done.
Quái khủng mà.
Pressure, the jump scare you feel when you just see a flag behind.
It's about 100 gold between the two teams. I did look it up. She counts as a minion, so she's not a towards it, but still very
Raise.
good tool at taking out part of that power. Hit.
Nên là cũng ok rồi đó, bắt đầu cắn được là ok rồi. Kèo này dễ. Để kiểm soát hơn rồi.
Comes out from Nucko. He's going to go back up towards top. Tons. The pings on where Kazi will be out.
Đội hình giao tranh từ trước ra sau. Cho'Gath, Braum với lại Javan chèn.
Call.
Cho Victor. Ezreal đánh dễ. Thằng lên cát. Xử lý con Z để tiếp cận tuyến sau vượt qua được dàn trắng. Trên điều kiện thắng chắc là Linh Cát phải có nhiều tài nguyên một tí. Để đủ đam ra tuyến sau một mình.
Call. Check. Raise.
Chứ đồng đội khó mà theo nó nha. Con Z này Z vô một mình.
Narco will be very happy with this time with the tower though.
Call.
Get himself a couple of
Bold.
plates. Will extend
Bet.
his gold lead a little
Bold.
bit. Didn't have TP, so wasn't able to come across.
Bold.
It's 45 seconds on the Drake. I wonder if we'll see Vitality just giving this.
Raise.
This one up, leaving Nako up towards the
Bold.
side. That's where he's going to pass. Kana doesn't have a teleport. For either. But first item to see on your Sivir with
Bold.
God of Age is not on Chayak. It feels like it'd be a bit greedy for Vitality to really force the
Bold. Bold. Check.
pace of the game by taking a fight now.
Bold. 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 Call.
There's no item on Astral or Victory.
Check.
Both junglers have their item.
Khỏe re luôn. Cana 4 stack khỏe re luôn.
Bet.
Thunder Sky has quite a bit more value than the Eclipse.
Bold. Check.
Oh, Dark Possession on Zakana, close it immediately. With the auto reset from the Vorpal Spikes, he'll get an
Bet. Bold.
the plate. So Zakana evens out that plate score and takes a small gold lead in the top side. Targamas takes a chunk.
Bet.
His living shadow.
Bold.
Decent poke. Yeah, it's good poke actually. Not something you really think of Zed for.
Victor lên cái đuốc này khỏe đó nha. Khỏe liền bây giờ rồi đó. Đau lắm đó.
So you're going for the cataclysm.
Bold. Bold.
I'm 34, okay, that was a long time ago. Mikazi getting chunked out by Kalist.
Bold. Bold.
Has that lethal tempo popping up. Dark Possession down again from Nako.
Cắn rồi, cắn được.
Bold. Bold. Call.
Nữa rồi, cắn nữa rồi.
Bold.
The job on the case, killing off Kana.
Bold. Bold.
Yeah, I think at this stage, Vitality happy if it went back to Farmville and
Bốc nát con CV với lại con Lulu rồi kìa.
plays, but KC still putting pressure.
Call. Bet.
Có kiệt sức luôn.
Ganked in that mid lane. You
Call.
see yikes.
Hai rồng cho KC nha.
That's my early.
Check.
On the Drake.
Check.
Pha tích còn số đâu con. Pha tích ngày mai đánh.
Check. Check.
Đánh từ nhánh thua lên. Pha tích với KC đánh nhánh thua lên. Nếu mà hai thằng thắng thì sẽ phải đấm nhau.
Exhausted, then jumps back. The root lands onto Yike, who has to jump away.
Bold. Call.
On the Draken.
Check.
Just a couple of summoners.
Một mạng nữa là có chỗ sức mạnh cho KC luôn.
Get the Draken as well.
A valiant effort.
Raise.
Just to try to find a steal there, despite the numbers. Advantage for KC. Doesn't quite able to get it, but he does get the flash from Yike.
Raise. Bold.
It is, however, 2 Drakes now for KC, and with a Mountain Soul potential on the horizon. Here, I mean, this shows
Check.
very happy if they can try to secure that.
And I think KC come in with a decent game plan in 2 and 3.
Cửa thì có, tại vì đánh vòng Thụy Sĩ mà. Để coi cái cách xếp hạt giống mới của Riot, chứ nhất là cách xếp hạt giống mới như thế nào. Đặt mục tiêu là có một đội phương Tây qua được vòng Thụy Sĩ cũng được mà.
Controlling early game, and now as Paul was just saying, they're in a great spot of moving Targamas around with Yike. Their jungle support are so strong on the map thanks to the CC they can offer, and Vitality have to play scared for so many of these plays.
I don't think Vitality mind being a little bit scared. Like 2 dragons and 3 gold is a large early game lead for KC, but the goal pretty even between the two of them, and you have Ryze, Yorick, and Sivir who do all well into the game.
Yeah, but they scale well when you have someone who can engage, and that's what Vitality is lacking with this composition. So I feel like you kind of need to get, it's more of a, like a 1-3-1 style composition for this, where you can try, because otherwise, I feel like whoever gets engaged on by KC is just going to have a sad time.
Yeah, I get that.
It definitely feels like a criminal lack of
Bán kết thì chắc không nổi.
side of Vitality. I mean, you're really relying on
Rất là khó.
find these roots.
You have dark possession.
Nhưng mà để coi hết coi đã, tại vì với cái thắng lợi của KT thì nó sẽ khiến cho mọi thứ nó đang rất là khó lường ở bên LCK này.
And Lulu.
Is it only on the shadow or is it on the original though? That's what I always forget.
Only on the shadow.
LBL là một cái sự hỗn loạn giờ này chưa chắc chắn được thằng nào.
No, it's on all of them. Enemies hit by Shadow Slice are slowed.
Okay.
Yeah. So. Really? Yeah, that's, I mean, I'm looking at the wiki, man. Like, yeah. It's just what it says there. So.
Call.
But yeah, still not very much CC.
Yes,
I think we can all agree on that.
Check.
As the Dark Possession comes down, there's one of the forms, but can't able to clear it out. Has the Heart Steel and a Bramble Vest, and has Consume as well.
Ngày mai là mình sẽ làm từ 12 giờ rưỡi cho tới tối luôn nè. LCK, LCB, tối xuyên một trận LEC coi đá banh nữa.
To work his way through the tower if Naknaku did decide to finish that recall. Lince is looking for Vladdy.
Bold.
Shadow across the wall, doesn't hit with the shurikens, and we'll just back away.
Bold.
Oh, Flashy, no flash on him, pops the heal, Redemption
Không tốc biến, chết luôn luôn.
Flashy, locked in the cage.
Bold.
Goes bye-bye. Lince is trying to come in from the side, can't do much. Kana with the chase, Naknaku has to flash the ghouls. Will chase Kana down a little bit.
Kèo Cho'Gath này hợp lý quá ha.
Meanwhile, in the middle,
Kìm hãm hoàn toàn của Yorick luôn.
trying to fight.
Raise.
Kallista's, he's taken a third of his health, and now a little bit more. Good unbreakable from Targamas to block the boomerang blade out from Kazi. This will smite the and I think Vitality might get this, even though it was Casey who started it and did have a man advantage.
Yeah, giant repositioning from top side with the Realm Warp to actually be able to jump the team, but Targamas.
Bold.
He's going to protect Vladdy. He does it well. Lince is jumping across here as well. But they do know that Targamas is in the area, so I don't think Vitality will force anything.
But they did force.
Nhưng mà cái kèo Cho'Gath này mấy thằng LCK không có đánh. Cho nên là con Yorick LCK thì thường nó có thể xuất hiện ở cái tầm mà thường tụi nó sẽ chọn cá sấu.
We're officially a third of the way through the game.
Với bên LCK nó không nào đánh Cho'Gath counter kèo này.
CS, I mean, it's a CS lead for Carsey despite this early game. He's actually clawed his way back in.
LCK nó sẽ chọn cá sấu hoặc là Jax.
And even Lulu getting picked off there and Fleshy dying, it ends up being quite a good play for Vitality as they're able to continue crashing in these waves, get the Herald, and continue to leverage control in this game.
Yeah, Herald given over to Shayak as well. Which is always an interesting thing when you see it on anyone but the jungler. But we talk about 1-3-1, we talk about side lane threat. That's where Ryze really succeeds, really thrives. So if you can put the Rift Herald down, get a charge in, Realm Warp it somewhere else, it'll be interesting to see how effectively Vitality can use it.
Check. I'm wondering if it's just going to be on and try and use that realm, or sorry, that Rift Tower, because that tower is so low, and Chuck doesn't really have any of those tools to move around the maps. Already starting to group, and Targamas might be caught out.
Does have the flash and has a ghost, puts the Unbreakable down, will flash the wall, Deathmark chases him, Redemption out from Targamas, should be able to heal him up enough, the dash back from Linsus, gets him out of dodge, now warp down, yike. Looking to see.
Rồng miễn phí nữa rồi. 3 rồng quá nhanh rồi. Rồi xong rồi.
Linsus doesn't really have a way out.
Cho'Gath tóc biến nó làm gì vậy?
And screams him down. The Rift Herald will get the charge into the tower. Cataclysm down, but Shayak, the Great Wild Growth.
Sao ăn rồng ta?
Ricochet's coming out from that Sivir. It's not going to be enough. Kana getting chased down. TP in. There's the Rune Prince.
Có thử nhưng mà tức là nó không ưa chuộng lắm. Nó không trở thành một cái lựa chọn xuất hiện nhiều. Còn Cho'Gath nó cho đánh nhiều hơn.
Bold. Was trying to run towards his mid tower as that one was gone. Ends up joining with the rest of KC, but you called it, no damage.
All in.
This game.
When you have to feel the frustration from Vitality.
2-1.
So close. They're not.
LEC bữa giờ thằng nào ăn game 1 như đều bị thua ngược lại 1-3 đó anh em.
They go onto the Braum. Targamas is tanking so much. Flashes out with the Redemption.
Ngày mai thì mình sẽ bật stream lên ngồi vừa xem LEC vừa xem đá banh cùng giờ. May Fanatic đánh cũng 10 giờ.
Very nicely here. Gets onto him. Cannot. The Redemption comes in. It's the third Drake for KC.
Now just one away from that Mountain Soul. As you said, Jack, like Cho'Gath with that soul is happy as Larry. He's in incredible position, already has 90 stacks on that heart. Still Thornmail complete. Hasn't even upgraded his boots yet, sitting on those slightly magical footwear. 1,000 gold lead for KC. Vitality still although the last few fights have not gone in their favors. Maybe 2 items on the Ryze, 2 items on the Sivir will be enough.
But the problem is, it's like, how do you try and like catch a player to get back into the game as well, right? It's like Linsus ulting onto them to then wall growth them to provide the CC to get the damage down, and so often the players that they've been trying to go on to are like Yike or Targamas because, well, they're the ones that are out in the open, but no Shayak.
We got feasted. Rupture doesn't quite hit. Yikes here though. And the Cataclysm definitely finds its mark. The tower alongside of the KC. They kill off the enemy mid. Look at the towers on either side of the map.
Game này chắc không lâu rồi anh em. Cái đội hình này của KC mà bây giờ lợi thế này hết chơi à. Victor khỏe, Tăng khỏe. Mục tiêu ăn quá nhanh.
They have a comp that really only works as a 1-3-1 without having much team fighting tools, but they're losing both sides of the map. They can't pressure neither bot or top. And it's looking harder and harder for them.
In 3 minutes, I feel like it's just over.
Raise.
What you're supposed to do, and like, I appreciate Vitality trying to cook, and I can understand once you see the Braum going, okay, we want to go for some sort of enchanter support here, but it's just like that over-index into what works in lane versus what we actually need holistically in this composition, and unfortunately it's at the point now where you just aren't enough to try and force these run-down plays where Karzi and Lulu to just outright win in the 2v2, and your sides are losing, so there's just very little wiggle room on the map.
I also think we can save
thưởng cho cái gì? Tiền thưởng năm nay của liên minh đang tăng lên mà. Mới bơm tiền cho cả First Stand và MSI mà.
Woodwork and it just doesn't have the value that you need in a comp like this. You'd really want a bruiser that can front Lulu, give him some CC.
All in.
And the game easier for Vitality's team.
We said very similar things to Vitality's team comp, and then somehow they won the game.
We said they had a lot of CC.
We said they had, but I was saying we wasn't quite cohesive, wasn't as coordinated as we. Where was the damage, you know? I agree with you both, by the way. I think they're lacking CC, they don't have the damage, they pick the Z really.
Cái đội hình của Vitality là đội hình nó đánh 1-3-1 với lại hai cánh và con rừng di chuyển được tốt. Nhưng mà bây giờ cái cánh Yorick banh sát không đẩy được.
But if you have a lot of damage but very little CC, it's really hard to make that work in competitive because people don't just walk into you and die.
And what if you're lacking damage and CC like Vitality seem to be in this game?
Sounds like my solo queue.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Nhưng mà sao Cassie nó farm vượt dữ vậy? 240 với 212.
We do see many games thrown around there. Cards two items now begins to.
Vậy nó bắn đau thiệt.
Can put some damage down, but take some in response.
Kịp lên xuyên giáp chưa? Có cung xanh nổi không?
He doesn't want to hit a morning mist on the Cho'Gath. Then the maiden will just chase him, and the Cho'Gath will kill that maiden. So it's trying to farm with your E while not having the Cho'Gath be kind of on top of the minions you're trying to farm.
Có, KT đánh dở hơn bình thường. KT thì đánh hay hơn bình thường. Kết quả chúng ta có 3-2.
As we saw him dealing with that maiden on repeat, the Yorick really doesn't get the threat in the side lane that he'd like. 40 seconds. Feels like that next fight, if Vitality don't lose it, that's Drake and Atakan very easily for KC. And you feel that might just be the nail in the coffin for this game, at least for Vitality.
Vitality are trying to get
Cho'Gath linh hồn rồng đất nữa.
winning point they have on the map, but now there's the
rồng gần như là đẹp nhất cho KC luôn.
With 20 seconds left, no pressure on the map. Vitality, they're under pressure themselves.
Rồng thật sự là quá đẹp luôn.
From Kana, he's going to join up with the other four members of KC. The maiden left to her own devices down in the bot lane, dealing with that push. TP.
Bỏ, không cạnh tranh nổi, phải bỏ. Ra làm sao cạnh tranh được với Cho'Gath. Kẻn đường rồi. Thôi ôi. Phê luôn.
Targamas on the front line. The Drake is being hit by the rest of KC. Targamas flashing away. Chayak trying to open up. He'll
chạy đi, Linkat.
Gets almost kills Linsus with the death mark away. Linsus dashes back in, gets the candles out.
Ê, có mạng kìa. Nó buộc kêu. Nó buộc kêu à? Còn tăng. Còn tăng. Em Khalid bắn ác.
Dashing forward with the arcane shift and KC have turned the fight back in.
Khalid bắn ác.
He lands another mix. Onto Flashy, you have to Flashy. KC turned the fight.
Đúng rồi.
Somehow after taking the Drake.
And Vitality nearly did the impossible as they gave over the soul. Linsus here getting.
Tụi châu Âu nó chơi Ezreal nhịp độ không ạ anh em?
Doing a beautiful job here, zoning the enemy as his team is securing the soul.
Tắt nhanh nó bắn cũng ác lắm. Ezreal nhịp độ châu Âu nhìn nhiều các bạn xem cũng thích lắm.
The game is looking quite dire.
Bắn dính ha. Alex bắn pha vòng đằng thì bắn dính quá.
But Kana not die. Goes melee, which bit questionable, but it's because he just can't kill him. He doesn't have enough damage. Kalist is able to then continue cleaning up this team fight, hits all his Qs, and it's 3 kills for K-Corp.
Kalist just got so much in that fight, untouched through the entirety of it. Kazi tried to do what he can, but yeah, as you say, stepped up melee into a bush without any vision.
Con Cho'Gath này giờ tượng rồi. Chính stack linh hồn rồng đất, con Cho'Gath này tượng mẹ. CV cung xanh này cũng không nổi nữa.
At least this time it was Kana and not Yike with a buckler just to kill him off. But for now, KC in total control of the game. Mountain Soul, that's about 6k worth of stats. They have 17 extra pedals, that's about another k and a half. And then they have a 2,500 gold lead alongside it. Kalist, you can see most gold in the game.
And a level 16 Cho'Gath, who is just looking so damn unkillable at 9 stacks.
But this looks so much better for KC. Like, there have been so many question marks floated around this roster as to what they're going to look like, how they're going to step up, what's their early game in particular going to be, but
Các năm gần đây là thằng FlyQuest là thằng phương Tây đánh tốt nhất. Khoảng chừng 2 năm trở lại đây á. Đợt này thì thấy Dichu đang đánh khá nha. Để coi là chung kết thế giới này như nào. Đợt này thấy phong độ của Cap rất là tốt. Đang cũng có khấp khởi hy vọng cho mấy anh em châu Âu với lá cờ đầu hè 2. Nhưng mà nhìn chung chắc vẫn phải để FlyQuest cao hơn. Tại FlyQuest nó có thằng Inspire.
Yeah, really happy with KC this game.
Inspire Matsu.
In general, I feel like a bit of a fool thinking that this would be close with how.
Cha! Quá dữ!
You can't get back into the realm of stunned with the concussive blows. The arcane will kill him off. Great engage from KC. Pulled the trigger immediately. And now Baron is theirs if they so desire, and they definitely desire. Yike looking for more, gets onto Kazi, who doesn't have flash and just walks straight into KC again. He's dead. Kalist is dominating, and Vitality are left reeling.
I don't think we're getting to the 500 CS. I'm not gonna lie. I think KC want to be done with this game. Great engages from Yike again and again. Baron in their sights.
Bibon nghĩ có một trận à. Bibon bên FlyQuest nó cấm thi đấu có một trận thôi.
And a fantastic performance by Yike as you
Cái lỗi đó thì cũng ấy, nhưng mà lỗi nó làm gì tới mức mà cấm lâu anh em. Vả mồm vừa phải.
Doesn't have flash. Even Flashy, he's punishing them. Now Knock will stay to get this mid tower.
He's gonna die. TP behind him from Kano as well, who is being chased out by Linsus. Maybe Kano.
There's another TP. There's another TP.
Quá giật.
Okay, yeah, he's probably gonna die here. Yorick.
Quá giật tới.
For a reason, but I think it is his eulogy that will be being sung. Kalist gets the kill, godlike now. 7-0-3 on this Ezreal.
Yeah, the TP's allowing KC to overtake him there. Vitality, like this engage was sick from Yike.
Wow.
The flag and drag into the knockback of the plants. And even then Shy trying to realm warp. But the CC was there. And again KC turning as a unit off the back of this as well. I mean, what's you do?
It's hard. It's really hard. They need to find some sort of pick, but the CC to do so.
Chúng ta sẽ cổ vũ cả.
Not really much you can do in that situation. Perhaps you could.
Má em Khalid em xanh xong bắt đầu lên đồ em bắn.
They immediately jump in.
I think as Vitality this game, you're honest to yourself and that you know.
Ván này thực ra là thằng dai anh em. Bạn nhìn con Savan của nó kiểm soát mục tiêu tốt khủng khiếp, găng hiệu quả.
With some CC that sets you up for success, because they did not have it this game.
Cái này dài đánh tốt rồi.
Difficult draw to navigate. Double inhibitors. Look for more. 70 seconds on Kazi. Vladdy just chipping away at that Nexus Tower. The cannon.
Rồi, còn game cuối. Hy vọng đi chung kết thế giới KC còn nguyên.
Kana can tank the tower for an absolute eon. The second Nexus Tower falls as Yike dives onto Shayak. The only real damage left alive. Kazi comes back up and immediately is put between the walls of the Cataclysm. KC will take the game, even more dominant than game 3. 10k lead at the end as they go 2-1 up.
And KC's demise was greatly overstated as Kalist and Yike, really the driving force in this game, looked fantastic.
Incredible stuff. I'm excited to see if this KC will stick around for game number 4 and potentially further into the tournament, because as you say, it's much more confident, great control. We'll have to see as we move on whether it will continue, as we're going to toss it over to a
Bold.
Thầy bói đã Wisken 5.000 đồng. Mùa sau mà Hockey vẫn chưa nhận
Call.
Không nha, mình không thấy có cái lý do gì để nó chuyển qua một team Việt Nam.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Check.
Join the WhatsApp. Join the WhatsApp. Have you joined the WhatsApp?
Bold.
Join the WhatsApp.
Call. Check. 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 Bet. Fold. Fold. Raise. Fold. Fold. Check. Check.
When darkness falls,
Check.
you are my
Check.
You take my hand and hold it tight. You are
Bet.
my home.
Raise.
I know
Fold.
now. Don't let me go with safe and sound. I see your beauty shine. You radiate. Our hearts dancing time. You're one of the kind.
Fold.
Sound on and feel my heart. We're never lost, even when I'm gone. Like
Check.
gone from near and far, above the flower bed. As we watch the stars, and we'll never be lost.
All in. Fold. Fold. Raise. Fold. Fold. Call.
You are my home.
Call.
You feel my pain.
Call.
My soul is yours. Two
Check.
souls the same.
Check.
With you, I'm
Check. Check.
everything. You never asked me to change a thing. They set our world on fire, but our hearts will burn for miles. I see your beauty shine.
Fold. Fold.
You radiate with light. Our hearts dancing time. You're one of the kind. Stars shine.
Fold.
Bonjour, I am Laure, and I'm here for your guided meditation as a K-pop fan. Close your eyes and breathe in.
Bây giờ mình nói thật với các bạn như thế này nhé. Nếu như các bạn hỏi mình về LCK,
Breathe
mình nói
out and let go of the
6 tiếng đồng hồ về cái chủ đề đó rồi.
since winter. Picture
Ngay cả khi bây giờ các bạn donate thì mình cũng chỉ cảm ơn bạn vì donate.
No one knows. Just
Chứ mình không thể nào mình tiếp tục nói về một cái câu chuyện T1 Hanwha Sport và mày thêm
Beating CFO.
sau khi mà mày 2.000 lần từ
People are still
buổi
impressed.
trưa tới giờ được nữa nè.
That was months ago.
Cho nên là
But it
các bạn mà
feels
nói
like
chuyện
it was
khác á
yesterday. Hold
thì
the
mình sẽ trả lời. Còn cứ thằng nào mà cứ anh ơi T1 Hanwha nói chuyện với cái đầu gối đi nha. Hết
and
sức.
release the truth that the draft suggests otherwise. C'est la vie.
Từ 10 giờ là cũng nguyên cái buổi stream này từ đầu 10 giờ là cũng T1 Hanwha với LCK không, chứ cũng đéo có nói chuyện LEC bao nhiêu cả.
The chance, the dream.
Thà là chưa nói nguyên cái buổi LEC này từ đầu từ 10 giờ tới giờ cũng toàn là LCK không, chứ LEC tụi bay có nói chuyện gì về LEC đâu.
And the comment section must be full of memes right now. What a recovery from KC disaster.
Đâu, vừa donate nha, để mình đọc lại.
They ramped it up. Domination here. Once again.
Absolutely. We saw the most convincing game of this series from KC as they completely dismantled Vitality. It felt very difficult for them to last, and it felt like that it started from the draft.
Yeah, I mean, it was just...
Cảm ơn thầy Bói và anh Khoa nha.
Overcooking
at the offense.
I mean, it's just KC getting a KC draft and Vitality shooting themselves in the foot. Hey, the game one could work, you know. Game one could work. This one didn't really work because the Z.
Thực ra thì mình cũng hiểu là bây giờ các bạn, tại vì các bạn phải quen cái chuyện mà khi mà mình stream á, stream YouTube thì được cái là các bạn có thể kéo lại được. Cho nên những cái nội dung nào mà các bạn thấy mà hỏi nhiều quá mà mình không trả lời á, thì chắc chắn là mình đã trả lời rồi. Thí dụ mình stream lúc 10 giờ thì chắc chắn là mình nói lúc từ 10 giờ tới 11 giờ, các bạn vô lúc 11 giờ rưỡi thì các bạn sẽ không nghe được và các bạn sẽ hỏi lại. Cái đó không phải là lỗi của các bạn. Cái đó bình thường. Nhưng mà nếu mà thấy mà hỏi nhiều quá mà mình không trả lời thì các bạn có thể kéo lại cái đoạn đầu stream, mà chắc chắn là cái nội dung các bạn hỏi đã trả lời rồi.
Bold.
Power you feel you have in that.
Raise.
Imagine you're just sitting there at Shogat walking forward. Enemy DC is like.
Pha tích chưa? Pha tích vẫn còn phải đánh 2 trận nữa, thắng 2 trận nữa mới được đi chung kết thế giới.
Em đang tiếp cận chơi bộ môn bóng rổ và muốn xem giải để
But
có
it's
thêm cảm xúc.
crazy to think
Anh cho
how
em
a
xin
lot
started
that misplaced ward, the early creativity from Yike with his passing, and the truth is that
NBA hiện tại không có cái kiểu như vậy đâu.
round Linces in this game. It feels like that a lot of this
NBA hiện tại thì mình nghĩ là chắc là không có đâu.
between the two jumpers. And you're right, game 1 we saw some fantastic cooking come through from Vitality. We had a lot of fun watching that draft play out.
Nó đánh nhiều lắm, MVC tuần trước bữa nó đánh đủ thứ lum lam.
Fruition, and unfortunately they now find themselves one game away from ending their year.
One game away from ending their year, another game to prove it all, and so far
NBA bây giờ bạn nào thích bóng rổ, nó là bộ môn thể thao của siêu sao cá nhân, thì bây giờ các bạn xem lối chơi của mấy thằng superstar hiện tại, các bạn thích lối chơi của thằng nào nhất, phong cách của thằng nào nhất thì các bạn chọn cái đội mà nó đang đánh thế thôi. Đó, thí dụ các bạn thích cao to đen hôi thì có anh ABCXYZ là Antetokounmpo, Giannis. Các bạn thích ném xa có 3 điểm thì có Curry. Các bạn thích anh già đang cày những mùa giải cuối cùng cũng thuộc dạng GOAT của bóng rổ thì có LeBron của Lakers. Lakers cũng vô tình có một ngôi sao trẻ đang lên cũng khá toàn diện là Doncic. Bạn thích bay nhảy trẻ trâu, có một số lựa chọn như là thằng Jamoran. Các bạn thích mày người ngoài hành tinh tay chân dài thòn thì có Wemby của Spurs. Spurs cũng đang có một số nhân tố trẻ khá thú vị. Các bạn thích xem một đội phát triển.
Capabilities or the depth of their draft pool to go all the way to game 5s. And what Vitality continue to show us is their creativity in the draft. They've shown us one that works really well and another that doesn't go quite to plan. So this could be an opportunity for success in Vitality, to potentially keep the cooking going, to keep the creativity coming, and that could potentially upset KC. But if they want to try this traditional, straightforward, classic pro-level league, I do feel like the KC's looking around things out.
Siêu sao toàn diện được xem Westbrook. Má mà Westbrook thời đỉnh cao cũng coi cũng cháy lắm mà. Siêu sao toàn diện tầm này thì hơi khó. Để Westbrook đánh Sigman.
Chance to try things again. On the other hand, KC who haven't found success till since winter. Actually, we've been looking to find their form from them again. Are they back after what we've seen here?
They're still quite timid, I would say.
Có mất Tatum còn mạnh không? Không nha. Tatum siêu quan trọng với mấy thằng Celtics, không sao mà mất Tatum mà còn mạnh được. Mất là cúp á.
Even though maybe the draft was a lot easier to play into the enemy team, it does a lot for the morale of a team.
I absolutely agree. And I think that the momentum that KC is riding on, the level of which they're demonstrating right now, they're looking to make their way to Madrid. But if we're talking bigger picture, there's still a lot of question marks around a lot of our teams right now in terms of the level of their performance.
Tuổi bóng rổ cỡ thằng Doncic là trẻ mà.
From the ceiling that KC can demonstrate.
Cái vị trí mà nó chơi cũng sẽ đánh được rất là lâu.
Being in that conversation for securing that it really is simply.
Lối chơi của Doncic đánh được chắc phải tầm gần chục năm nữa nếu mà nó không phá người quá.
Things go to bring us to a game 5.
Cảm ơn mọi người donate nha, để mình đọc lại.
Secure a spot in Madrid.
Yeah, KC want to find success again. They want to prove that what happened in winter was not just a one thing. And on the side of Vitality, it's been a year project. It's been years.
Giờ ai thắng đánh với Ichu? Ichu sẽ đánh với Coi.
Shayek was saying it. They have their
Ichu sẽ đánh với Coi để lấy vé tới
Vitality, do you have what it takes?
chung kết tổng. Thằng nào thua sẽ đứng đợi Casey và thằng thắng trong cái trận pha tích với Jack đánh lên.
Or is the project over? Are Mac at the end of their rope, really, when you think about it? Because it has been very public that Vitality will not accept anything other than making it to Worlds, or at least making a deep run into playoffs. And for Mac and Pad, they've built up this team. They've spent a few years doing it. This new roster, obviously, only coming in this year, but it will be the end of a journey.
Doesn't it feel poetic in the sense that it all rides on the draft somewhat?
Yeah.
Like, this is really the coaches needing to step up after that last game. A really difficult draft for Vitality to play. And I'd go even further to say that in nearly every game, especially in the game 2 and game 3, Casey had the better draft. It was easier to execute with more tools and also just having better champions and better synergy. So I really think Mac and Pad need to step up for
Đức nha. Sengun cũng là một thằng mà mình thấy nó cũng có khá nhiều tiềm năng. Đợt playoff vừa rồi coi Sengun đánh ok phết.
But we haven't really seen from Vitality the flexibility I kind of expected for them. Picks that are unusual, but they haven't. They've threatened with.
Nếu mà nhớ tên nha. Này vẫn mặc áo KT mà.
Apart from game number 1. So now going into this game 4, do we just see them go back towards a bit more standard? Like Nako on a Cassante, Jack on a control mage, Karzi on something he can just be like Isaiah, and then Rakan Flashy, something along these lines. We'll have to see exactly what the game plan is.
And the thing is, like, do you revert to standard when you've been practicing things that aren't standard? You just go for comfort picks like this as we jump into draft. Wow. Back to join us here in the early.
Đổi HUD cũ á.
Get rid of Ziggs, Pike, and Annie. Rakan, Nico, and a stand out by Vitality, and it's the first hit Jace.
That is quite the crazy lock in here. A big takeaway from He's our best Jace player in the league, and we'll see if Naknako can make a statement on this pick.
I'm also wondering if it is to hold open that flexibility where you can put that towards the mid lane for Chai. I want to say he's played it before, maybe not this split, but in the past. And then if you end up taking something like a Cassante that Connor was hovering, then take the Gwen into it, and you can flex those champions around. But KC at the moment going forward, hold his own flexibility, kind of answering tit for tat.
Yeah, it's a good pivot from KC here, not getting baited into that Cassante lock-in, as you say. Vitality could flex that Jace and get a really good matchup in Cassante, but now they can just go into the Jace if they want, or even flex that as well. And with the Xin Zhao now locked in for Yike, from early game jungler, that he can look to have a lot of impact on as he's had this series.
Yeah, we're kind of falling down the ranks in terms of junglers. You know, Pantheon gone, Jarvan gone, Wukong gone, gone.
First bit dây hả? Dữ không? Anh nó chơi on thì sao? Cảm ơn mọi donate nha.
You could go for something like Sejuani for a similar sort of idea, and that is where they're going to go. So Sejuani obviously really solid with the Jace.
Sejuani.
I think it works with the Jace, especially if you are putting that Jace into the top side.
Thì đánh với AB nào vậy?
You can always, again, keep that flexibility there. Go for a melee champion in the top sides. So I imagine.
Jay Sejuani cộng một AB nha. AB nào? TF hả?
I pick here, sorry, for Karzi in the AD carry role, just to try and secure that ADC in this position, because I think keeping that
Sejuani
works well into this next.
Chà.
Sure you want to try to keep this flex.
Cấm chọn này của Vitality.
From last game saying we didn't have enough CC. You're all set, you do.
Victor đánh rồi, Rai đánh rồi, Azir cấm, Ori đánh rồi, Kana đánh thủ chắc vậy. Sante Xin Zhao, Aurora.
I wonder how much range Vitality want to opt in towards here, because way for Chai option here, things that can hit from very long range. Moments like Cassante, even the Aurora to a certain extent, things that have range in them.
Nó làm hình con gì? Mình thấy cài tóc Genran cũng đẹp. Bọn nông sim của cài tóc con Fore cũng đẹp.
That is left that Casey can really operate off of engage from that bottom side.
Yeah, I'd love to see Vitality just all in on this poke comp.
Đang đoán là con dây mid.
BDD on the Zoe went absolutely crazy. I think if you go for something like that or the Hui.
Giờ này đang hết năng lượng rồi anh em. Đợi tới đoạn chung kết thế giới đi. Chung kết thế giới mình sẽ cố gắng set up mấy buổi anh em. Về TV. Tức là Casey nó đang xác định đây con dây có thể đi mid để đánh với kèo Aurora. Cũng là một lựa chọn được, thằng Zed đánh được con dây mid.
With no real engage.
Yeah, Blitzcrank banned away as well, which is one of those engage supports alongside the Leona. Zoe, you mentioned.
Nhưng bây giờ ban quen rồi, Aurora đã có rồi Rumble.
Most played across his career. It is 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. 9th most played, 14 games on it, 71%.
Rumble đánh rồi.
The only thing that's going
Top AB đâu còn nữa đâu ha.
Targamas maybe bring out something like a Maokai support here. So basically going, hey, we're not gonna at least some engage.
AP ngon á. Mình cảm giác là đội hình của Vitality hiện tại nó không có cái ra tiếng sau tốt. Nó không còn những con mà ra tiếng sau được.
And now with this Aphelios lock-in, I'd love to see Vitality go for this really long range.
Cho nên Aphelios nó sẽ rất an toàn.
That can just continue punishing KC's comp because Aphelios is really weak into poking champs. He doesn't have engage from his own team.
Tagamat có thể đánh tùy, nếu mà cảm thấy ngon thì đánh Thresh cũng được.
I don't think they'll have it.
Không thì tam Ken.
Right, Aurora ulting in, getting the slows in out with the follow up for the knock.
Oh, rồi luôn. Ok, đội hình bốc.
Raise. 71% win rate on it when his average win rate is 50%. So pretty good. A lot better than average on this. Where are we going for support?
Thằng Medic nó kêu là cái tỷ lệ thắng của Jack với con Rui này cao nha anh em. Tỷ lệ thắng 70% khi mà đánh Rui trong sự nghiệp của nó là cao á. Pocket Bit, học anh BD đi. Cướp tam Ken. Cướp tam Ken. Không còn Lulu, vậy thì còn lại Thresh.
Disengage. You've already got a ton of long range, good engage coming through from both the Sejuani, and honestly, bold. A good position as Vitality. The range or the engage from the bubble is so good as well with Zoe. And I don't think Thresh is going to cut it here. It's not going to add what you need to try and close this gap onto Vitality.
I mean, Thresh provides some safety towards Helios, but the well, like, there's really not here that Targamas can lock in to help them.
I'm really worried if I'm Thresh and I'm looking at this comp.
Yeah.
Because like, you stun yourself when you go for a hook. And there is so many ways to poke you while you're trying to step up.
Đội hình bot nhưng mà cái khả năng mở của KC không tốt lắm nha. Khi mà bạn đối mặt với đội hình bot thì bạn cần khả năng mở. Nhưng mà công cụ mở KC rất là hạn chế, gần như là không thể nào mở được. Tầm mở của nó hơi ngắn. Mình cảm giác là nếu như Vitality vận hành tốt cái đội hình này thì có thể nó sẽ có nhiều ưu thế. Đội hình bot rất là xa.
Bold. I mean, I think for KC's side, it's really about winning this early game. It's about snowballing through this Sinsal, through this Aurora, because if you can get a lead, you can always look to run over Pokemon.
Nếu phong độ của Vitality thực sự cao với ba con bot của nó là dễ win á.
And you can just play easily. But if you fall behind, you end up needing to be the team that's face checking into Zoe, Jin, Jace. You're gonna have a miserable time.
It's going to be bullet hell for KC if they fall behind in this game, but will it be heaven for them if they take the win here? They're one step closer to their world dreams, to going to Madrid alongside MKOI and G2, and one other team currently will be making up for the send there. For Vitality, last chance saloon. Or die right now. They need to win this game. They keep their dreams in both the LCS and internationally alive for 2025. It is a long rest after this if you don't win this series. As we see, Fleshy are looking towards the mid. They're not going to find anything. As Targamas is just covering here, acting as a bit of a recon, a bit of scouting. Vladdy not stepping too far forward, and Vitality won't find anything early doors.
Spellbook here on the Zoe, abusing that rune as well. So we'll
utilizing it appropriately, I believe, Jack.
Yeah. We'll see what she can get done with it.
And we will. Oh,
we're getting hyped.
The music really pumped up there. A little bit later than I'm used to, I'm going to be honest. But a couple of questions coming up from a few chats there. How are they killing Cassante? I don't think they need to. I'm going to be honest. If you get ahead and you have poke, you can just poke out everyone else. Cassante can block a few, but eventually he'll die.
It's similar to game 1, where even if they
con Xin này con Xin gì vậy anh em?
directly kill the Sion early game,
nãy không để con Xin này Xin gì? Nhìn nó hơi lạ lạ, ít xài ha.
And in this game, I think it's even easier for them because they have so many tools to keep the enemy at bay and to just keep them at range.
Mới đúng không?
Yeah, I think it's just hard for Cassante to try and run at them. Unless
ẩn chính là mới đúng không? Mới nhất đúng không?
And then they can set up on objectives first and have like flank.
Hàng chi mà bữa giờ đâu có thấy đâu, tiện thấy sách con Xin này đi ra không thấy lạ quá.
As to what Vitality's bringing, it's just not going to be a fun time regardless of how tanky you are.
Kana using the ward in the bush there to stop
Raise, bold.
minion aggro in this sort of situation.
Nhìn nó hay á, nhìn cái trang phục đồ của nó hay để coi hiệu ứng nó như nào.
I am a little surprised to see that Khan opted in towards the grasp and down instead of the aftershock, because oftentimes in these range matchups you'll see the K'Sante take aftershock. K'Sante scales super well off of resistances, and you up your all-in because you're just not really going to get a huge amount of value out of the grasp. That's generally what I've seen in matchups like this for the K'Sante.
I think even Spellbook could make sense with how often that rune is played. But we'll get to see. We can do a grasp check-in to see if he got any value out of the rune later on.
How many does he need to have got value out of the rune?
More than Jace.
More than Jace. Okay, we'll track it. I don't think he's going to have more than Jace, I'm going to be honest.
Especially because the Jace can just auto you, change into melee form and get the grasp in time as proc. Full value for melee. It's just, it's very unfun to play against.
Nó là lấy comment chứ không phải là cheat đâu. Comment trên cheat á. Nó sẽ rút comment ở trong kênh chat ra. Cạnh tranh ác vậy.
Smite going down.
Heo. Heo. 3-1.
KC and they're looking for more tongue latch from Fleshy. Stops Yikes advances, but once again KC wins the game and they come out strong.
It was so unnecessary.
Đánh nhân tướng hợp nhất thiệt chứ.
Good position to be in with this round. If they just let this game play out nice and slow, they can get their wins through the extra range they have. But trying to evade just gives those windows for KC to find what they need.
A huge misplay by Linces here. They're able to get the blue buff through a nice smite, but then he queues in, misses it, doesn't get.
Nếu nó hút trúng thì sao? Mình cũng không nghĩ là tụi nó đang ở một cái thế đẹp để đánh nữa. Cái việc mà đánh cướp bùa xanh xong chạy được rồi. Pha đó ủi trúng cũng không đánh được nữa. Nhìn tướng nó có gì đâu mà đánh anh em. Jin Tamken, Sioni với lại rồi bên này là Aphelios đang cầm cái thiên lý huyết tinh. Press xin giao. Nhìn là thấy không đánh được rồi.
Yeah, you put yourself in a difficult position now as Vitality, because even then when it comes to the early stage of the game,
chết cảnh nè. Mà trúng cái đó là vô luôn ở chứ.
Getting the control that you want for an early dragon or void group becomes more difficult as well. And again, they didn't need to do that. It's a bit of an unforced error on Vitality's part.
It's not what you want to do.
Né dẻo Cana, né cầu nãy giờ né dẻo chứ.
Scale up into the game. You can see what they were thinking. So, stow away the blue. That'd be nice. We have bot Bryo. We have mid pressure. Maybe we can go a little bit over eager afterwards to go for the fight. Very happy those Berserker Greaves as his first base. Puts the Graviton down onto Kazi. Can look for the root, but won't decide to use that enhanced Q. Targamas wasn't going to go for the hook. There we go.
Rồi. Combo quá đơn giản. Án tử lồng đèn xin giao tới nơi.
Check.
Only hits onto a minion.
And it's further KC being able to continue snowballing off of Yikes. Good proactive plays. Mistake from Vitality bot lane. And punished. And Shayak tries to move to get something out of the play. Doesn't get anything and lose some minions out on mid as well.
And now KC in a position to look for Dragon. They've got positioning on bottom side. Even the fact that Shayak is shifted down towards that bottom side, it's going to be like small resources that are being invested with Vitality that are just blowing up in their face.
Thằng Hoa Luân nha, mấy thằng Vitality đánh cẩn thận là thua cái này là đi luôn nè.
Nicely now for a void group to take after as well.
This is going to look for the steal. Yeah, with Shayak has 6. Puts the bubble down onto Vladdy. They're looking for the smite fight. The Drake currently 2,000. Abyssal dive forward by Flashy, but immediately played back to flash away from Targamas.
Má súng đẹp quá, nhưng mà không có đam, chưa có đam. Được.
Should be able to get the smite. KC disengage. Good job from Vitality to force them off the Drake.
And a nice punish by Vitality here.
Lên giày 2 chưa có đam.
But crucially, the Mountain Drake going for the side of Vitality, and the second Drake now being kept think means we'll probably have a pretty good soul on our hands.
And actually a nice timing window from Vitality. Vladdy hadn't quite ticked over to level 6. He was 2 minions or even 1 minion away from ticking over to that.
Raise.
So use the fact that Chayek had that little bit of an advantage in that perfect as alongside the positioning that Vitality had picked up.
A nice little flank from them overall. Vladdy not having his flash as well.
Game này nhìn khó cho Vitality quá anh em, tự nhiên nó bị mất mạng nhiều quá.
Raise.
The Zoe is
Đánh từ từ tí thôi, đường trên đang ngon quá trời.
mid lane.
Landing nó đang rất là tốt, tự nhiên nó bị mất 3 mạng.
Chayek flashes forward with the spell that he has stolen away on that spell.
Tốc biến lụm.
Down onto Vladdy. Still has obviously the flash of his own alongside an ignite. Grubs up in 30 seconds. We didn't see the traditional 4-minute swap. This time a 7.5. The TP coming out from Kana towards that bottom side. Both Naknako and him have invested them. Another bomb's going to land. There's the lantern. Targamas standing in front.
Crucially, Naknako cancelled Kalist's base, so he's really delayed for this top side here. Gonna lose a few minions. And maybe Karsi can even
Raise. Bold.
try to get a plate. No.
I think he's going to look towards the grubs.
Yeah.
Bet.
They're about to fall.
Push in mid as well. Vladdy just forced the reset. So you've got a lot of room here for Vitality to try and pick this up. And
Ăn được cả rồng lẫn sâu nè.
they started off very
All in. Bold. Check.
Targamas just forcing them away here. Not really going to get too much. Tries to bend the bullet at the
Check.
Targamas safely standing behind Yike.
Bet.
Should be able to walk over towards this mid lane. Abyss will dive out from Fleshy to make sure he's
Bold.
Bliss trying to take a plate. One more
Bold.
should be enough, but he can't quite get in range, so he'll be able to pick up the plate immediately.
No grubs, so he doesn't get up. 3 grubs for the side of Vitality here after this play, as Lin says.
He should just give this up. Arctic Assault across the wall. You don't have smart except there. Okay, you can have the Gromp. Kana go down towards this bottom. He's doing a good job of surviving through Naknako. He knows he's going to lose this lane.
Mình nghĩ chắc không có game 5 đâu nè.
Expected, so if he can stay within 300, 500 gold, he'll be happy enough.
KC nó cũng có đội hình dễ vận hành hơn á.
Yeah, I think
Bây giờ nó đang có lợi thế nữa.
they had a great winning spot. But then just the fact that again these small things happen means that Vitality
Đội hình nó cứ tăng lùa lên rồi 2 đam phía sau.
if Vitality are in the tempo lead where they can set up first and get to objectives first, that's where they are.
Bị cái đang thua mục tiêu thôi.
Whereas if you're a KC and you're
Chắc là không có game 5 đâu.
for position for Kana to look for a flank or Vladdy to look for a flank, suddenly that's where you're no longer able to use that range as Vitality and you become much more vulnerable to the all-in from KC.
Yeah, for sure. I'm happy to see that top lane didn't end up snowballing too hard for KCS. Karsi's pretty equal across the board to Kalist, only a 300 gold lead, which is pretty negligible.
Call.
Between the two
Check.
teams. Thought, as you
Raise.
said, after Casey picked up the first 3 kills, that bot lane was beginning to snowball.
Bold.
Vitality have done a good job of weathering that storm. They are still behind in jungle and in the bot lane. A small lead for Naknako up towards the top side as Chayek looks for Vladdy, can't find him. Yike waiting around the corner here. Wind becomes lightning. Across the veil goes Vladdy. You're not going to be able to find too much more. Glacial Prison will get the slow deadly flourish. Not enough to
Call.
Targamas.
Couldn't quite get the setup for the deadly flourish.
Trúng ra là con Red chết là tại vì không có tốc biến luôn.
Targamas' heal, so at the end of the day, KC going to be very happy that they thwarted that one. Whereas Chayek now much more vulnerable in that mid lane when this ultimate comes back up from Vladdy.
Yeah, Chayek TP'd back to this mid lane.
All in.
Until spellbook, so already has a heal back up and, you know, steal a flash from someone else. That's what Zoe does. Just find 1 or 2. He's going to lose one of these minions, but the cannon is there for a paddle star to connect with if he wants. Instead, takes out the back of the wave, jumps, gets his passive,
Raise.
and takes
Call.
cannon.
Beautiful wave play by play.
Call.
I still remember, I think it was
Call.
in the mid lane.
Bold.
It was just the entirety of a moment in the game for him. We like back in the good old days, we had some weird games of League of Legends, especially in EU and NA.
Old days?
I mean, we still do, but like, there's Elder Drake now, there's Otacon, there's a lot of ways to throw the game on the way to end the game. Whereas in the good old days, you know, Drakes would just keep spawning.
Bold.
Get gold from, you know?
Yeah.
Now I'm very curious about this Jace grass procs. I know we talked about assault the grass procs, but I think I've seen like Nako proc repeatedly on Karna.
Bộ là băng chưa có.
We'll find out for you. Thank you. Okay, we'll get
Tầm nhìn hiện tại sông dưới Casey nhỉnh hơn. Mắt khá đủ nha, mà Kana máu thấp quá. Cô đó lời dịch chuyển đó. Súng gì Kalis đang cầm súng. Súng gì?
Vitality trying to set up around mid lane here with that Chemdrake up.
Chà, có cái thanh tẩy nữa, Rui có thanh tẩy ngon dữ.
Already, KC using bot lane to try and push forward and deny Vitality, at least a few minions. Kazi's going to try and get his way across here. Targamas the target. Deadly Flourish going to land. He puts down the box. Now needs to flash the wall and manages to do so. Half health though, and without that summoner.
Súng đánh nhau được.
Drake as Karna takes a chunk. Nuko continues to put the damage back into that Kasanta. He does have TP.
But look how patient Vitality are playing this bottom side of the map. There's no overcommitment. Now it's KC who feel forced to start it because they know they're just taking so much poke from Vitality.
The curtain's open. Kalista takes